In the arena of Kralran, blood soaked the red sand like ink spilled across parchment. The crowd of alien spectators, scaled, feathered, armored, and eyeless, roared with a sound like metal tearing. Their attention was locked on the center of the Colosseum, where two beings faced each other. One, tall and human, clad in a dusty survival suit patched a dozen times over, held a simple metal staff. His name was Jace Marlowe, last of the Earthborn in this sector. The other was Lady Tharaxa of the Voxar Dominion, a 6'7" warrior noble whose species had evolved from apex predators. Her armor shimmered like obsidian moonlight, and beside her crouched a hulking beast, a living mountain of claws, tusks, and matte black fur. Its yellow eyes never left Jace, and saliva sizzled as it dripped onto the hot sand. "You're trembling," Tharaxa said, voice sultry with mockery. Her lip curled in amusement. "Is that fear I smell on you, human?" Jace didn't respond. He adjusted his grip on the staff and exhaled through his nose. "ASingleWhisper," she continued, stroking the beast's coarse mane, "and my hound will rip you apart. I'm giving you a chance to kneel." Jace glanced at the beast. "Funny thing," he said. "Back on Earth, dogs love me." Laughter erupted from the audience. Some Voxar warriors jeered, others barked challenges of their own. Tharaxa's eyes narrowed. "You mock me," she hissed. "You, a caged refugee pretending to be a warrior?" "I'm not pretending," Jace said, then shifted his stance. "I just don't believe in starting fights I don't intend to finish." The announcer's voice boomed from above, echoing off the massive stone walls. "By royal decree of Lady Tharaxa, this trial will decide the fate of the prisoner. Begin." The beast lunged. With terrifying speed, it crossed the arena, paws slamming into the sand like thunder, jaws wide, revealing layered rows of dagger teeth. Jace sidestepped at the last instant, slamming the staff into its flank. It wasn't enough to hurt the thing, but it diverted its path, and the beast skidded to a halt, snarling. Tharaxa watched with interest. The human moved well for a soft-skinned species. She whispered again, this time in a tongue not meant for humanoid ears. The beast whirled, reacting to her command, and charged once more. Jace had faced death before, but nothing like this. The creature was intelligent, reactive, and coordinated, clearly bound to its mistress through more than training. A psychic link, maybe. He feinted left, rolled right, and jabbed the staff at the beast's eye. It flinched, and he took the chance to climb a broken pillar for height. "You run well," Tharaxa called out. "But that is all you Earthborn ever do. Run. I'd die." "I thought you wanted to test me," Jace shouted back. "So far, all I see is a spoiled noble using a pet to do her dirty work." Tharaxa's smile faded. The beast snarled, frustrated. It circled the pillar, tail slashing the air like a whip. Tharaxa touched her temple. The beast roared again, this time not in anger but pain, and its movements became more violent. Something clicked for Jace. "You're controlling it too tightly," he said, now panting from exertion. "It's not a bond, it's slavery." Tharaxa's gaze darkened. "You know nothing of our traditions. I know you've never fought your own battles. And maybe that's why your people lost at Andrus 5. The crowd gasped. The Battle of Andrus 5 had been a humiliating defeat for the Voxar against a coalition of human rebels. To mention it here was heresy. Lady Tharaxa descended the steps into the arena. "I will not wait for the beast to kill you," she snarled. "I'll gut you myself." The crowd surged with approval. Even the beast seemed momentarily confused by its mistress's betrayal of custom. Jace grinned. Now it's a fair fight. The clash between them was brutal. Thraxa was stronger, her strikes precise and elegant, but Jace was quicker, adaptive. He fought like someone who'd survived dozens of unfair fights, and learned from everyone. They traded blows. His staff cracked against her armored gauntlet. Her blade sliced a gash across his side. Blood dripped. Sweat stung his eyes. "Yield," she growled, eyes burning with fury. "And I might let you keep your legs." "Lady," Jace wheezed, staggering back, "you're gonna need a new dog soon." Thraxa blinked, then spun just in time to see her beast lying still. Jace had known the risk. During the melee, he had let his staff fly directly into the beast's open maw as it prepared to pounce again. The weapon had delivered a compressed shock core battery inside it. Calculated gamble. The beast convulsed once more, and then stopped breathing. "No," Thraxa whispered. Jace didn't attack her. Instead, he leaned on his knees and said quietly, "He wasn't a monster, just loyal. You pushed him too hard." "You killed him," she said, voice trembling with rage and something else, loss. "I defended myself. He didn't want this." Thraxa stood frozen, looking at the lifeless form of her companion. For a moment, all the pomp and arrogance of nobility melted from her face. Her voice was no longer commanding, just small. "He was my only friend." Jace lowered his staff. "Then maybe try not threatening people with him." The crowd had fallen into confused silence. This wasn't the spectacle they'd expected. A human had beaten a Voxar noble, not with brute strength, but with cunning, restraint, and nerve. The ruling official hesitated before stepping forward. "By combat right, the Earthborn has proven his strength and shall be spared. The Lady Thraxa must abide by this verdict." Thraxa clenched her fists, then turned and walked away without a word. Days passed. Jace remained on the planet, recovering from his wounds. Word of his victory spread like wildfire across the station worlds. Mercenary companies sent him offers. Diplomats tried to court him, but he stayed put, healing. One night, he awoke to the sound of soft steps in the corridor of his holding quarters. No alarms, no security warnings, but someone was there. The door slid open. Thraxa entered, dressed not in armor, but simple black robes. Her eyes were unreadable. "You're lucky my father didn't demand your execution," she said. "Is this your way of apologizing?" Jace muttered, still sore. "No," she said, walking over. "This is me trying to understand you." He raised an eyebrow. "Understand a caged refugee like me? I trained for decades in Warcraft," she replied. "And you beat me. Not by power. By clarity. By understanding my bond with Kale. And using it." "Kale," Jace repeated. "My beast," she whispered. "He was bred for slaughter. But he knew peace only when I allowed it. You saw the pain I inflicted on him. And still he obeyed. Out of love or fear." Jace sat up. "Why are you here?" Thraxa met his gaze. "Because something in me shattered when he died. And I think you're the only one who understands what that feels like." They were quiet for a long moment. She continued, "There's talk of assigning you as a diplomat now. A representative of Earth's lost legacy. You'd have protection, power, even a fleet. I never asked for power. And that," she said, stepping closer, "is exactly why you're dangerous." There was no threat in her voice anymore. Only curiosity. And perhaps something else. She tilted her head. "If I whispered now, would you still be afraid?" Jace stood, wincing as his ribs protested. He faced her, inches apart. "I'm not afraid of whispers," he said. "But I don't follow them either."